Again, I'm just another stunt guy on set, and now the director's coming over to talk to me and Ed Helms, and we're going to talk about the movie RAD, and it was just so surreal.
Welcome to the RAD Movie Podcast. I'm your host, Tony Donaldson, and a super fan of the movie, probably like you. In this podcast, I will be interviewing the cast of the film, some of the writers, and some notable fans. You can watch this podcast as a video podcast on YouTube or listen to it anywhere you listen to podcasts. Please consider liking and subscribing and share this with your RAD fan friends. Hey, RAD fans. I have a really fun one this time. This is Eddie Fiola. Eddie and I have been friends for 38 years, since I moved out to California to work for a couple of BMX magazines, and got to photograph him at places like Pipeline and Gale Web shows and just all kinds of stuff. I got to see him in some of his heyday, and now we're friends and have been for a long time. 17-year-old me wouldn't believe me. Wouldn't believe you if you told me that, but that's beside the point. Anyway, we have a fun conversation today, talk about a bunch of fun stuff, and I think you're going to enjoy it, and it's going to lead to a bunch more fun episodes after this. So make sure you subscribe and sit back, relax, and listen to a little conversation between two friends, one of which worked on the movie RAD. Edward Lynn Fiola, it's good to see you, man. How have you been?
It's good seeing you too. I've been great. No complaints from me.
Very good. Very good. Have you been busy?
With the new shop out in Santee, been busy doing, welding and restorations on some cars, but just riding bikes. And, we have a new colorway out on the EF Former Pro. So it's a red. Yep. So.
Oh, you have to send me that so I can actually put it in show notes and stuff.
Okay, cool.
Can't wait to see that. I'm just starting this podcast. It's a RAD fan based kind of thing. So being a fan, I'm very excited to have you on. Let's go way back to the beginning. How did you get involved in BMX?
That's what everybody did back in the day. We rode skateboards, but it took too long to get anywhere. Your foot turned numb. The sidewalks weren't all that smooth. There was acorns on the sidewalk. The street was rough. So bicycles was the way to go. And when we had bicycles, it was mainly, the Schwinn Stingrays, and we built them to look like motorcycles. We put the single seat on, we put the box bars on, we put the mud flap and the gas tank. We did what we could to make it emulate more of a motorcycle, because that's what we all wanted. We wanted to be Evel Knievel, and we wanted to jump motorcycles. But what we did was ride BMX. So.
And how did you get involved in freestyle?
So riding the Schwinn Stingray and eventually, working your way up to a better, and new bikes are coming out and things like that. I'd go down to the bike shop and look at parts and, put on the wish list and the want list and see how many lawns I have to mow in order to get the money to get the parts. And but the going down to the bike shops, there was always magazines. There was BMX Plus, there was Super BMX, there was Bicycle Motocross Action. There's all these magazines, and seeing Bob Haro and RL and those guys doing freestyle, which I think excited me more than racing. I went to the racetrack. I did race for a little bit, but the only reason I rode at the racetrack is because they built jumps and we didn't have to dig. Right. So, yeah.
That's fantastic. You are absolutely one of the best storytellers that I know. And tell me the story of you getting Bob Osborne to photograph you at Pipeline.
Oh, man, that story goes way back. So what has happened is that now I'm riding Lakewood Skatepark for the longest time. Every day after school, I'm there at the skate park. I didn't care about homework. I didn't care about anything else. But this one day, now I have a girlfriend, and she wanted to walk to the Pipeline, or not Pipeline, but Lakewood Skatepark, and across the way was a place called Apple Annie's, and they had arcade games, and so did the skate park, and so anyhow, we walked to the skate park that I rode every single day. So anyhow, as I get there, I see this photographer and this other guy in full uniform that is in a Hutch uniform, and it's Tim Judge. And
nice.
I've never seen Timmy ever at my skate park at Lakewood. I never seen him there. Not that he never went, but I never seen him, and I was there every day. So to see this guy and this photographer, taking pictures of him, I figured out that it was Bob Osborne. And wow. And so seeing Bob there, knowing that he was the owner of Bicycle Motocross Action, I, asked him how long he was going to be there for. I'm going to run back and get my bike, and you got to watch me ride. And that's what I said. And I'm sure I'm just some Grom kid that
right.
that every kid out there wants, Bob Osborne to take a photo of him and do whatever. So I run home. Now at this point in time, I'm thinking, it's a daily event that I'm going to the house, but it's 5 miles. At least that's what I thought it was. I thought it was 5 miles. Anyhow, as I'm running back, it's like Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I'm jumping over fences. I'm trying to beeline the backyards. I'm going through swimming pools, backyards, fences, over cars, you name it. I'm doing it. I'm just getting so I can get a straight line to the house. Anyhow, get to the house, do whatever I need to do at the house to get my stuff done, get my gear, get my helmet, get my bike, make sure the tires are pumped up. I can't take the back roads, and I can't jump over fences. I've got to take the long way. And so I hoofed my bike all the way back to Lakewood Skatepark, and as I get there, Bob Osborne has his bag on his shoulder, and he's walking out of the skate park. And I just, I begged and pleaded with him, again, I'm just some Grom, and this he says, okay, let me see what you got. And he's got his bag sitting on there, and I could vividly remember riding from the back door of the skate park entrance to the park, riding into a flatland area, down a little 45, up a little 45, past the fence, into the snake run, going backwards, going uphill, jumping one of the jumps, pumping down, jumping another jump, and then ending up doing a 360 or a 540, but landing so where I could see where Bob was at the entrance of the park. And when I landed, you could see him take his bag down and start pulling cameras out. And
nice.
That was it. That was my first time getting in the magazines, and he spent a good couple hours with me, because I'm sure, and I don't remember word for word what I said, but I'm sure that I said, hey, not only do I ride here, I ride over there, and I ride this, and I ride that, and take a bunch of photos, and he did. So he didn't guarantee me that I was going to be in the magazine, and I had no guarantee.
Sure.
And he said that the pictures that he takes today might not even make it in the magazine. And if they do, it'll be 3 months. Now, that's something I didn't know that happened. I didn't know they had 3-month leeway. And that was, you mean this didn't happen last week, when I'm reading the magazines?
Right.
Yeah, so anyhow, a month or two go by, and I'm going to the bike shop. I'm looking through the magazines here and there and this and that, and a couple more months go by, and all of a sudden I open up the magazine, and there I am, a full-page color, which was different than what Bob Osborne normally takes, because if you looked at the earlier magazines, everybody was in uniform. Tinker Juarez was in uniform. Timmy Judge was in uniform. The only guy I know that wasn't, the only not uniform section was Trash Can Morgan, and that he only had like combat boots, but he still wore, all the Kuwahara gear. But I was luckily enough, that I was in a pair of Levi's and a radio shirt and sweaty old pads, and I got in. So,
what year was that?
Early 80s. I think it was 1980 actually. So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think later on, as sponsorships and all this other stuff, 82 was my first cover of a magazine, which was also Bicycle Motocross Action. So
fantastic.
Yeah.
That's so great. So during the 80s you were touring quite a bit, doing contests and all that. How did the RAD gig come up? How did you get selected for RAD?
All right. So now riding in the 80s, eventually getting sponsored here and there, being in the magazines. Not only did I do magazine stuff, but I also did commercials, and we'd go on auditions. And it wasn't that we had any agents or anything like that, but the people who wanted BMX riders would contact the magazines. The magazines said, well, this guy are on top. So do you want their numbers? And that's how we got called for these auditions. I would go, Mike Dominguez, Brian Blyther, Hugo Gonzalez, all the guys that were on top at this point in time would go to these auditions. Scotty Freeman, depending on what they wanted and what look they looked for. Sometimes they're looking for the kid next door. That would be Scotty Freeman. Sometimes it didn't matter what they looked like. They just wanted the talent and, a guarantee that they're going to hit their mark and do what they need. So anyhow, now being on top at this point in time, I guess that Hal Needham and what's the other guy's name that did the script?
Sam.
Sam Bernard were thinking that they need to do a BMX movie of some sort. So they got a hold of the magazine. The magazine said, well, this guy right now is on top. And so they came out and talked to me, came out to the skate park, came to my house, asked me a bunch of questions. And later on, I don't know how long, what the time frame was in between, but later on they said, hey, we've got this movie, they've got a script, they've got this thing. We want you to be the stunt man and do most of the stunts that you can do. We have this one guy that can do a backflip. And then they told me about this outrageous, unbelievable track that they were going to make. And I'm going, yeah, no one's going to ride that. So anyhow, they contacted the magazine. The magazine contacted me. They got a hold of me, and that's pretty much how I got chosen to play the part as Cru's stunt double.
So is the story true that Bill had to dye his hair to match yours?
It was easier to darken his hair than it was to lighten my hair. I mean, in order to bleach my hair, it would turn orange or something. To darken his hair, literally, they could have sprayed on some black spray paint hair color. And it would have been fine. And 95% of the time, we're wearing helmets. So he didn't have to, darken his hair up all that much. Yeah. So, yeah, they had to make him look like me.
Well, he is your acting double, so.
Yes. Yeah. Well, here's the thing is that I understand the concept of why they had him act in it instead of me. They never asked me if I could act. And I didn't know if I could or not. So, but I don't think I look like Talia Shire's kid. So, since Talia was going to be the mom no matter what, they had to have somebody that looks like her kid. And to have the sister that looks like Bill, then, it works out. So.
Yeah, everybody. I would love to ask him about that.
Yeah, but hey, I heard he's around.
All right. Well, maybe I'll have to call one of the magazines and see if I can get his number.
Yes.
If there are any magazines left. Oh,
call Bill Ryan. Call Bill Ryan. Bill Ryan knows everybody.
Okay. All right. Will do. So the was RAD the thing that got you into doing stunt work?
Oh no. So the thing that got me to get into stunt work was when BMX started on its way down. Back in 88, 87, 88, I wasn't on top anymore. BMX is on its down curve. Mountain biking was coming in. I was still doing commercials here and there, but mountain biking was coming in, and I started riding a mountain bike, but doing BMX tricks on it. So when, and I got the commercials, I got the gigs. So whatever it took, I got it, because they, it's weird when you show up to these auditions, everybody says they're an expert. Everybody says they're a pro. But when you see them show up on their brand spanking new Huffy that they just bought saying, oh, yeah, I ride mountain bikes. No, you don't. So why are your forks on backwards? So anyhow.
There's a whole Instagram account about that one.
Yeah.
Called Your Fork is on Backwards.
So anyhow, I got a phone call from a stunt coordinator, Gary Baxley, and he knew that I did bicycle stuff in the industry. I have done some commercials and I've done some BMX things in the movies, and I was known as the bike guy. So Gary Baxley had contacted me, and he was doing this TV show called Pacific Blue. And it was literally mountain bike cops at the beach doing BMX tricks. We got to jump, we got to do tricks. We were, doing some downhill stuff that before extreme mountain biking was even there. So we were the guys, in the forefront doing stuff that nobody was doing yet. Matter of fact, I remember doing a backflip on a full suspension before anybody else.
Crazy.
Yeah. So.
All right. So since we're on the topic of stunt work, tell the story of working on The Hangover.
Great movie. The Hangover. So, I'm now working in the movie business. I am just another stunt guy. I've worked for, a couple different movies, Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 3, Contraband, a bunch of different things, a couple TV shows, and the stunt coordinator on The Hangover was Darren Prescott. Now, Darren and I had met at this stunt camp, more or less, but Darren actually rode BMX back in the day and did freestyle, and he knew that I did stunts also, and we now are friends, and he needed another guy to come in and do a stunt, which he had 5 or 10 different stunt people that were on Las Vegas Boulevard and were supposed to be on the sidewalk, and the cop car, this is in the script, the cop car is supposed to be driving down the sidewalk, and people are supposed to be jumping out of the way as they fly by doing 25, 30 miles an hour, kind of like, the old Laurel and Hardy when you see people flying up and out of the air when the car's driving down the right. So it's that type of stunt where we're supposed to do a near miss. So anyhow, I'm just another stunt guy, not doing anything special. It has nothing to do with bikes whatsoever. I go on set, and the production assistant, the PA, contacts me and says, "Hey, wardrobe is at this trailer, hair and makeup's at this trailer, and your trailer is over there. And do you ride bikes or something? Are you famous?" Well, I don't know the PA. I don't know who this person is, but I'm going, I ride a little bit here and there. And she goes, I go, "Why do you ask?" He says, "Well, one of our main actors is a huge fan of yours." "Oh, who's that?" And they say it's Ed Helms. Now, I know the face of Ed Helms. I didn't know his name. I didn't know who Ed Helms was, but I seen a bunch of the movies that he played in. But anyhow, still couldn't put the name with the face, and just said, "Cool, yeah, Ed Helms, BMX fan." I'm on set now, and it's the day of doing the stunt, and the cop car is driving down the sidewalk, and things have changed. It's no longer a high speed miss. It's low speed. Mm-hmm. They want to go slow. Now they're talking on the mic. They're saying things. Things are being switched up as they go. And they do this 3 or 4 or 5 times. And eventually the battery in the camera is dying out. And so we do our near miss and things like that. We're walking out of the way. And now that they have to change the battery, the actors are all getting out of the cop car, and I'm standing with all the other stunt guys. And all of a sudden, Ed Helms comes running over towards me and says, "Dude, you know that trick you do in the very beginning of RAD where you got your bike down on one pedal and you swing your leg around?" And I have it. I can do that. I practice that trick. I used to ride BMX. I had a quarter pipe. I did all these things.
That's awesome.
Right? So now we're talking about BMX, and I'm talking to Ed Helms, and at this point, RAD wasn't released on DVD yet. And the only pirated pirated DVDs out there. So I had mentioned to him that we were trying to figure out how we could buy the rights from Talia and that we could release it on DVD or legally or do something. And Ed says, "Well, the director goes to breakfast with Talia all the time." And he starts waving over the director. Again, I'm just another stunt guy on set, and now the director's coming over to talk to me and Ed Helms, and we're going to talk about the movie RAD. And it was just so surreal. And so I explained to the director, and I go, yeah, we're trying to get this, and she doesn't do this, and she doesn't want this, and I don't know what she wants. And the director pulled out his phone, and he says, I'll call her right now. I'll get you the rights right now. And she never picked up. And that's as far as it got. So
were you treated like royalty on the set after that? I mean, did the other stunt guys look at you with a different view?
I never really asked anybody. I just did my thing, and Darren knows who I was or who I am or what I did back in the past. But and there are other stunt people that understood that I was something somewhere else. But yeah, no, the hangover was a really cool thing to meet somebody, and it also gave me a chance to realize that even movie stars rode BMX at one time. Basketball players and porn stars and all these people, they all rode BMX at one time, and it wasn't just BMX and that was it. So
it's pretty amazing, and that's some of who I want to get on the podcast is some of the notable fans. I think that's going to be a fun conversation. I almost want to have you.
I can get you. I can get you Tommy Gunn's number.
Okay.
All right.
Please.
Yeah.
So going back to the movie, at the 25th anniversary showing at the Arm & Hammer, you and Martin sat behind me and Mikey, and you were just telling tales of behind-the-scenes stuff. What's that?
You're breaking up. Okay. I can hear you now.
Okay. Okay. At the 25th anniversary showing at the Arm & Hammer Museum in Westwood, you and Martin sat behind us and were just telling us the most incredible behind-the-scenes facts about the making of the film, which ultimately became the audio project that we recorded in your living room.
Yes.
With all the behind-the-scenes stories. So I just, tell me a little more of your experience making RAD.
Experience making RAD. We got hired as, the BMX guys that did all the tricks, and I think it was 6 weeks in Calgary, Canada, and what was weird is, and when we showed up, we had never seen what the track was supposed to look like.
Right.
And then we all got on this bus, and we drove out to the track, and all of a sudden, all you see is this huge white billboard looking thing. And from the distance where we came in at, it looked like just the billboard. That did not look like a starting gate. It looked like a flat wall. And so it was, I thought it was the backdrop of the track, but it was the actual starting gate. So, it's hard to explain, when you go to a movie and you work on a movie, every day they hand you these call sheets and they tells you what's going to happen the very next day.
Right.
And I would have all of these stickered onto my hotel wall. What day's coming up, what's going on this day, where we're going to film, what days we have off, what days we're not filming. And then depending on the weather, some days it would be raining and we couldn't film at all any BMX stunts. So they would film all indoor things that they could film.
Right.
One day it was 85 degrees. The very next day there's snow on the ground. So
Oh
I don't
boy.
know what that's called, but they had a name for it in Canada, and it happened, and it was just weird. So
Well, and it was meant to be Anytown, USA.
yeah, right. So it was good. It
Are you
was an
thinking about going to
experience.
the what?
I said it was great, and it was a great experience. And yes, I am thinking about going to the 40th out in Calgary.
Yeah, Cochrane maybe.
Yeah,
I think. Oh yeah, that's. I want to go too. I mean,
yeah,
I
it'll
just
be
think
good.
it's yeah for sure. Um, yeah. So, anything else going on these days?
Mm. I'm 61. I don't feel old. I don't think I look old, but
No, you don't.
my body is kind of on the, I've got two hips. I've got some back problems and wrist problems. I'm not complaining. I love riding my bike, but, you know, don't think I need to hit the ground anymore. You know, um,
I hear
nor
that.
do I or do I want to hit the ground anymore? I mean, if they're paying job, I guess I'll do it, but it's it's not something. It's funny is that, our industry, the stunt industry says that I'm supposed to work until I'm 65 in order to collect my pension in full. Um, so that means I,
Right.
literally either hit the ground or drive or do something stunt wise and whatever. But we're just trying to, get by, and I just don't want to get hurt anymore.
Well, stick to more stunt coordinating instead of stunts.
Yeah, and there's another thing is like I have one feather. I have one feather, not many feathers. I don't like to be in charge of anything. I want somebody to tell me what to do, hit the ground here, fall here, go here, and that's it. It's kind of like being in the army. Not that I've ever been in the army or any of the things but if somebody tells me what to do, I can pretty much do it. To be in charge, that means I have to have responsibility, and that's I guess I just don't want to grow up because that's where grown-ups are, and
Right?
I'm still at the kids table.
Yeah. Well, and you're still riding a kid's bike, so it's
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah.
It is. Every time I watch you ride, it's just so much fun. One of the things that I remember about like the AFA contests, um, you always looked like you were having the best time of anybody there when you were riding.
Yeah, what's funny is that, people ask, what do you think when you go into competitions? And I say that I don't think it's a competition. When I show up, I think it's a big reunion, and I just want to ride with all my friends, and I don't think of it as a competition. I'm not competing against you or you or you. I'm just having fun. Now, the guy that has the most fun looks like he's going to win. So I guess I had a lot more fun than everybody else.
Well, you came out on top, so
Yeah.
and it was always fun to watch that, and it's still fun to watch you ride now. You are
What's
such a showman.
so Todd Huffman got a hold of me the other day, and he said he was rummaging through some old videos, some old beta tapes or something like that, and he had it digitized, and it's Del Mar Skate Park, myself, Mike Dominguez, a couple other horror riders, and I'm wearing, and this is so far in before GT, I'm wearing an MF jersey, and
Okay.
watching some of the video where we're barely getting out, we're doing 4 foot air, 5 foot airs, and that was our max. But back then, that was the best that there was.
Right.
So, just after watching some of the X Games or some of the, Red Bull Rampage and the stuff that these guys do nowadays, it's like, it's so funny is that we thought we were good. We were for the date, but, looking back upon it, man, we sucked.
No, not at all. Not at all. The kids today would not be where they are without you innovating and starting all of that.
Right.
They're standing on your shoulders. That's why your back hurts.
Yeah. Yes.
So I take nothing away from those guys because the level of riding now, it's just, I mean, we couldn't have imagined that as kids.
No,
and these guys are doing it.
When the video games came out and you could do a double backflip, tail whip, flip, twist, and land back in the half pipe on a video game, that was purely luck that you landed it in the video game. Right. Now they're doing it for real. So,
although you guys didn't have resi to land on.
We didn't have
at the end of the run.
Airbag. We didn't have test facilities. We didn't have anything. We didn't have no. Somebody had mentioned to me, how come BMX riders don't wear big knee pads like skateboarders? How come the BMX guys don't, bail off if they're not going to make it? It's because we died trying to make it. We wouldn't not make it. There wasn't you wouldn't throw your bike unless it was guaranteed you were going to die. Like if you came up short on a double, sure, about here you're going to jump off and you might make it to the other side. But if you almost are going to make, you're hanging on until you do. So, and the same with the half pipe or the pools. It's like we hung on until we hung sprocket. And we still tried to make it.
Right.
So,
yeah, and some of those crashes were pretty spectacular. But that's how it was done.
Right. And that being said, that just helped my stunt career, that I have fallen enough times to figure out how to fall without getting hurt. And going into an industry where they're asking you to fall, and you're like, you want me to fall here at any time? I can just lay the bike down or flip over the handlebar. Oh, I can do that any day of the week. But to not know it's going to happen, that's the worst part.
Yeah, that's the surprise you don't want.
I've seen more guys get hurt on stupid little stuff because they weren't expecting it. At least when we're up in the air, there's a possibility of not making it. There's a jump that's a possibility of not landing it. There's possibilities. But if you're riding down the street with one hand and your other hand has a cup of coffee or a Coke or whatever, and you're riding down and all of a sudden you hit some railroad tracks and it flies out from underneath you, you are hitting the ground like a sack of potatoes.
Yeah, there's no good way out of that one. For sure. All right, man. Well, I will probably come back to you and interview you again further down the road, but thank you very much for joining in, and hopefully I'll come down and see you guys at the shop one of these days.
Very cool. Well, hey, matter of fact, see this guy right here, Tommy Gunn.
Yep.
All right. So in there, he says he started off riding BMX. He wanted to ride BMX. He had pictures of me on his wall, and we had spoken, and I gave him the catchphrase that, yeah, he went from BMX to Triple X.
There we go. and you're not talking the Vin Diesel version.
No. So if Tommy's got a couple of HBO things or Netflix, and he's got a couple books out. So, But yeah, you should talk to him. He'll love talking about BMX with you.
Okay. Yeah. Get me his info.
All right.
Hey, thanks for making it all the way to the end of this episode. Please hit that like and subscribe button and check out our other episodes.